What's up, guys? Today I'm going to use my Byrna TCR, and I'm going to use my homemade slugs. If you have a stock Byrna TCR with no adjustments to it or anything, yours will obviously have orange parts right here and on the other Picatinny rail. Those will be orange. I've dyed mine dark green with some RIT dye. There's videos online how to do that. And then I added a remote line to my TCR. This is a TipX remote line adapter. It's like a $27 or $25 accessory for the TIPX, Tipman TIPX pistol. It's a paintball pistol. TCR was originally a Tipman TCR, and then Byrna bought the, like, I guess, patent to, slap their brand on it and charge you double. So and they removed certain pieces on this, which don't really make sense, but I mean, it's their thing. They could do whatever they want. I bought this like 2 years ago, and at the time I didn't really look into like less lethal other brands or the variety of stuff that may or may not have existed 2 years ago. Now that's a whole different game. So yeah, this is pretty much out of warranty. I put this on here about 3 months ago. I have a video about how I did that. There's also a shaped breech inside here. So inside your stock Tipman or Byrna TCR, there's this block inside of here, and that will accept round balls only. So you need to buy a shaped breech. I got mine from an eBay seller. His name is Master Scony. It was like $30 with shipping and stuff. But anyways, the shaped breech allows you to use shaped projectiles, and I'll try to get a view of it in there. I can't really tell if you guys can see that, but basically inside there is one of these, but it's black and it's shaped like a backwards capital D. So one second. So since it's shaped like a backwards capital D, because the capital D in English is like that, so it's shaped like this opening right here. It can accept shaped rounds like first strike rounds and other things. When I made a bunch of these slugs, I made some of them like larger. Like, I added more glue, but actually that was not good. So all the ones that I made that were like full size do not feed in this magazine correctly. The 12 round magazine that comes with your Byrna TCR can use shaped rounds. The 7 round magazine does not. It's just round. Like the entrance to it is round, so you cannot put shaped stuff into it. So this is the 7 round magazine, and you can only fit round ball stuff in there. And the shaped magazine, or the 12 round magazine, the extended one, you can put shaped rounds into this 12 round magazine. I don't believe they make any sort of 7 round magazine that can fit shaped rounds. And if you want extra 12 round magazines for your Byrna TCR, just look up Tipman TipX extended magazines or Tipman TCR extended magazines, and it'll fit perfectly. There's also some other ones called Zeta mags. They're a little bit cheaper, but I don't have any of those. But the Zeta mags, I don't have any of those, but these, I think they're higher quality. 2 of them is $60. Some places sell one for like $45 or something. But anyways, I'm gonna load these up. The larger ones that I made, like I made a crap ton of ones that are fully BBs, and I made ones that are I just added more glue, and they stuck out. They protruded further than the this is the HDR Umarex TR68 HDR68. This is the magazine for that, and the ones that do not fit in this magazine, they kind of stick out a little bit, like they're kind of like popping out like that much, or like a little bit less, but they don't feed in the HDR drum very well. or at all. Those were actually too long. So yesterday I had a piece of sandpaper, like really coarse sandpaper, and I was kind of just like filing down the backside of the longer ones, and I think I did like 10 or 12, and then I got bored of doing it, so I had to do that to like 60 more rounds. So in case you decide to make your own rounds, don't fill up that mold that I showed you guys in that previous video, like 2 videos ago. Don't fill up that mold all the way with glue. Just leave like a millimeter of space at the top. Otherwise you're gonna have to customize all of those rounds that you made too long. So I'm gonna load this up. I'm gonna use the lighter rounds, the 5.8 gram rounds first, and then I'm gonna use the 7.9 or like 8.0 gram rounds. I think they were 7.8. So I'm gonna use the lighter rounds first, 5.8 grams, and then I'm gonna use the 7.8 gram, the ones that have extra BBs in them, and obviously they're gonna be in this 12 round magazine and in my Byrna TCR. So this tank is at about 1500 psi. The output is 850 or 800. It's just a standard HPA tank, and I'm gonna throw that in my backpack and gas this up and then start shooting. So I'll be right back. Alright you guys, I have my Byrna TCR. I haven't shot this in about a month or so. It's been a while. I think I haven't messed with the the velocity adjuster. I think it was hitting about 20 or 30 joules the last time I used it. I'm not sure, I'll have to check. But these are the 5.8 gram balls or shaped rounds. So I'm basically just want to see if these fire, and I want to see if I have any feeding issues, because sometimes they like fall over in the magazine and then they don't load in the breech correctly. 330. 332. 334. So I fired, but I'm pretty sure I had some sort of issue with the feeding. 1 second. So this is why I didn't have a ball fly out. But this happens even with the MCS Devastators. They just seem to kind of move around a little bit in the mag. So I feel like this would be a safer option to run on the HDR 68, because the rounds are fixed in that magazine and they're not going to move or like topple over or anything. Because it seems like every time I fired my TCR with shaped rounds, they always tend to misfeed. And then if you depended on this to protect yourself in a situation where you need it to work, that's not going to be good, because it's not going to fire because you're having feeding issues. 324. 334. So I'm going to grab the other magazine with the heavier rounds and then start firing again. So 1 second. Alright you guys, I have 4 rounds in here. I only bring like 5 of the heavy ones and 5 of the light ones. One of the heavy ones is not wanting to feed in the magazine because I had to grind it down a little bit. So I'm going to shoot 4 rounds, heavier rounds, 7.8 grams, and we'll see what this does. 270. A feeding issue, so I'm gonna check this out real quick. I'll be right back. $280, and obviously I can turn this up. I just want to see, like, I can turn the velocity up. I just want to see if my homemade rounds work and if I have the same issues I was having with the MCS Devastators, and I kind of seem to be having the same issues where the rounds flip. But this is just a trial and error thing. Like 274. I got one more round. 274. So it works. Obviously, when I make more of these rounds, I'm gonna have to shorten them a little bit so that they fit in the HDR and they work in the TCR. So I'm probably going to leave a little bit of space in the mold when I add more glue, when I make new rounds, which might not be for a while because I have a lot of them right now. I basically have to sand down a bunch of those rounds because I don't want to. This is the easiest way for me to make those usable, is to just sand them down. It'll take a little bit of time, but eventually I'll have all of them sanded down all the way to where they need to be. I'm just going to degas the TCR right now. I'm shutting off the HPA tank. This tank is still at it's still like at 1500, because yeah, it doesn't use that much air. It uses way less than the Umrex markers because it has a regulator and stuff, because all the Umrex things, everything that I own anyways, does not have regulators, so it's just letting it go full force pretty much all the time. So this is empty right now. There's no magazine attached. I'm just going to shoot it to dry fire. So it's pretty much no more pressure in here, which is what you want. Whenever you run a remote line off of your TCR, or if you have a Tippmann TCR, or even a Tipex, if you run a remote line off of a Tippmann Tipex, you have to put an empty CO2 in here. And yeah, because the gas coming in from this line goes through here, and this gas line that goes from the CO2 chamber goes in here too, and both of these lines meet up in this piece on the regulator, and then from that point it goes up into the air valve and, you know, out the barrel and stuff, and some other stuff happens, but it's generally what is going on. And that's why you need an empty cartridge in the front to block the air. If I did not have a cartridge in there, it would just immediately start leaking because there's nothing plugging that air line on this side. So yeah, this was empty. If you guys look at any of my older videos with the TCR in it, especially if you see it with this line attached to it, I have to do that in every single video because it won't hold the air if there's not an empty one. You can even put a brand new CO2 cart in there, and it'll block the air from escaping, and you'll eventually use that CO2 cart that's in there, because I've done it before. I think I was shooting I was using it with the HPA tank attached, and I had a unpunctured brand new CO2 in the front, and when I aired it up, it was aired up and it used HPA on the first shot, and then after that, typically the HPA, at least in this marker, it's not the same for the Umrex stuff that I have, but HPA doesn't perform as well in the Byrna TCR or in the Tipex, even though this has like a larger air valve body with like these big jelly bean kind of shaped holes for the air to flow through. The CO2 typically performs better, and if I was to get my CO2 tank and attach it to this TCR, all those numbers I just shot with the lightweight ammo and the heavyweight ammo would be higher on the CO2 tank. So I'm gonna assume these were hitting like 330 on the HPA, these lighter ones. They'll probably hit 360 or 375 with the CO2 tank, and these were hitting like 270 about on the HPA tank, and they'll probably hit like 310 or 320 with the CO2 tank. So I usually get like a 40 feet per second higher amount of speed using my CO2 tank versus using the HPA tank, and it's just the way that CO2 is, like, just more like explosive. But anyways, guys, that'll be it for this video. I know that these work in my TCR. I still have the issue every once in a while with the rounds flipping in the magazine, so they don't they're not doing this how they should. Every once in a while they'll fall down, or they'll like stick up, or they'll half load or something. So I just had to grind these down a little bit with a piece of sandpaper. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you on the next one.